Hey everybody, it's Boardgame Blogger. Today I'm here to review Pick and Pack. Now, this is a fun little game put out by Zedman Games back before I think they jumped the shark. You know, their customer service has really gone downhill of late. My understanding is even to get a replacement part you need to keep a receipt for purchasing the game within 30 days. I think a lot of gamers don't necessarily even break the shrink wrap until they know, okay, I've got a game session here in play, but they'll get the game a couple of months ahead of time. Pretty sad move by them. Also, I've found games they're coming out with recently aren't really as innovative or as interesting as they used to be. But this was sort of before the company got sold to I think the Quebecois, and it's a solid title. The insert is good and useful. Oftentimes inserts aren't, but here everything stacks in well. Really good for it not to get all over the place when you're moving the game. Excellent insert. In the rule book, it's nice. It's a pretty simple game, with interesting decisions to be made. Plays in about 25 minutes, I'd say. There's different kind of genres of games that I play. I kind of review kind of an eclectic assortment, and this plays in under 45 minutes. Basically, I only really just play this with my wife type of game. I have played this with some other gaming partners, when we're wrapping up a night and there's just two of us left, for instance, or we're waiting for someone to come in, because it is quick. It is, kind of under a half an hour. But I've really kind of just mostly played it, and the reason I got this title was, to play with my wife in the evening where we don't really have a lot of time to dedicate to a heavier game. Under 45 minutes, 2-player only, that type of, design for 2-player. That's where this game fits, and it's pretty good. It's totally themeless. The theme is you're working in this apple factory picking crates. It could really be anything. But there's a fun little game in here. So I'd recommend it if you're looking for that. If you're looking for and you're able to find it, I'm not sure how old this game is now. I just kind of found it, added it on when I needed to reach that free shipping threshold for an online realtor. They still kind of had it in there. Thought it looked interesting, so rolled the dice. So again, I'm not sure how easy it is to actually obtain this game anymore, because I think it's out of print for a while. But it's a fun little kind of almost an abstract game. Apple picking theme, if that interests anyone. But plays good. It's very tactical. And let's take a look at how it plays now. So here's the board on setup. We've got this several crates of apples are packed. There's going to be a red player and a blue player. There's some special tokens that players obtain that they use for their benefit. And the goal is to really score the most points by collecting apples. You can seal a crate of apples with a premium marker, thereby doubling their score, or a wholesale order will have their score. And the way it works is you've got the claw and you're going to be picking up apples. The red player, however, can only move the claw in this vertical direction, while the blue player can only move it in this horizontal direction. So you're kind of setting up to obtain more valuable apples than your opponent, prevent them from getting high-powered, more powerful apples, for lots of points, or setting it up to activate a special ability. Let's kind of look at them here. So there's the premium, As I said, that will double the value of the apples. There's this switch one, which will let you switch from your crate and your opponent's crate, an apple that's placed there. You have wholesale. You have this mechanical failure, which will basically prevent an opponent from either picking up a certain apple, or usually, and generally just the better move, is to prevent them from using a specific special ability. You have rush order, which will let you put it off to the side to then basically do 2 turns in a row when you choose to activate it. And you have this quality control, which will let you simply steal an opponent's apple tray. So that's the game. You just kind of take turns. The game ends in one of 2 ways. Once you're not able to do a legal move, which would mean there's no apples to take, and you can't actually activate any of your special abilities from where your opponents basically left the claw. Or once a player has sealed all their crates with both premium and wholesale. So, for instance, if the blue player were to start here, he's going to go here, and we'll take those apples and then put them on into a crate. So when the crates are equal in the amount of trays, it's the player's choice to put them. But he has to sort of put them in the lowest amount. So now that the blue player's placed a crate there, he can't place a second crate there. It's got to go in one of these 3 empty spots, for instance. But see, that move kind of prevented the red player from getting a ton of apples. That would really be very helpful for him. The way you activate a special is you move into a spot where there's no apples. So, for instance, if it was the red player's turn here and there's that empty spot, he can move here and there activate a wholesale or activate a quality control marker. Obviously, you kind of usually want to use those a little bit later on in the game. So now what we'll do here is with the red player, he's going to just go here, grab a 3, place it there, and now it's back to the blue player. This is probably a good move because it doesn't really give the red player too many apples. As you can see, these tokens, you're going to randomly arrange them each time as long with the special ability. So there's going to be a lot of replayability. It's not that you can map out, like a puzzle, the absolute best move, because the board's going to change each time. So it's not going to be the repetitive game where always moving, up 2, left 3, that type of thing. It's going to be a random setup each time. It's red player's turn here. Again, unfortunately, the way this is set up, it's kind of tough. It's giving the blue player a lot of kind of prime choices, almost wherever he goes. So the blue player was smart to set it up that way. The red player here is gonna pick the 1 though, because sort of intends to switch that with a high level amount of apples with the blue player in a future turn. The blue player here, while there's a lot of apples here, this is going to enable the red player to get that one or that one. So he's going to go here. Sometimes you don't want to necessarily go for the one with the most apples. You want to, maybe even just go for a 1 or a 2 to set up and limit your opponent's options later on. It's back to the red player here. It's going to go grab this one, and it'll be the blue player. And that's sort of how the game plays out. So for instance, just to show, the blue player could go here, activate, say, this wholesale, and put it on top of his opponent's apples there. It's not really a good move at this point because it hasn't grown enough. You want to put it where someone's got a lot of really high, powerful apples, and then you're having their score for that. But that could be done, for instance, and that's how you activate a special tile, is you move to where there aren't any apples, and you can activate the special orders that are on either side. If, for instance, one way the game would end would be, let's say, all those apples are gone, and the blue player's activated, but let's say still has that one to activate here on the left, but the blue player's activated all his other specials. Here now the game will end, because you can't just stay where you are, you must move, and he can't go anywhere here and get any apples because they're all gone, and he can't activate any of his special abilities. So the game will end on the blue player's turn here, and we just simply add up the apples and score. So that's one way the game ends. Or if a side has completely sealed all their apples with, premium and wholesale. So that's another way the game can end. It's a good, quick game. Plays about 25 minutes. Interesting decisions to make. Basically themeless, but I think a really good spouse game. Not too aggressive, but still a good competitive two-player game. Till next time on the Board Game Blogger.